Hello and welcome to another special episode of HW Straight Drive with me Anil Rajput and our sports editor Mahesh Kuti. India in a hard-fought match defeated Bangladesh and cemented its place in the semi-finals. India defeated Bangladesh by 28 runs, but its middle order didn't look promising. So Mahesh, the middle order failed once again, and did India register a convincing victory?
The scoreline says that we defeated Bangladesh by 28 runs, but till the very last wicket went, India were actually not very confident of pulling it off. Had they played out Jasprit Bumrah's over, then they would have had 2 overs to bowl, and that would have been one from Bhuvi and the other from Shami. Shami in his third spell was terrible. He was being picked for runs very comfortably by all the Bangladeshi batsmen. He had given away almost 17-18 runs. So had they scored about 10 runs in Bhuvi's over, they would have definitely been able to score another.
So this means that the Indian team took the match lightly after the wicket of Shakib Al Hasan?
After Shakib's wicket, I think the Indians thought that they had won the match. Okay. In fact, it looked like at that point of time that the Bangladeshis might just capitulate for about 250 runs. But some of the Bangladeshi lower order batsmen like Shaifuddin, Shabir, these guys raised their game and they fought till the very end. It was very impressive to see Bangladesh not giving up the game till the very last ball. It required a special effort from Jasprit Bumrah, who picked up 2 wickets in 2 balls and closed the game.
The India in the match against Bangladesh made 2 changes. One, they replaced Kedar Jadhav with Dinesh Karthik, and other, they replaced Kuldeep Yadav with Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Do you think it was a good decision?
See, the reason why they dropped Kuldeep and brought in Bhuvi was in the earlier match against England, because the square boundaries are very, very short. I mean, it's almost about close to 60-65 meters. The English batsmen were able to hit the spinners out of the ground. So they decided that they would replace it with a medium pace bowler. And Bhuvneshwar Kumar by then was fit enough so he could come and bowl. Which I thought at the end was a very good decision, because I think Bhuvi bowled extremely well. As for the second decision of taking Dinesh Karthik for Kedar Jadhav, Dinesh Karthik also came in quite late and he was not able to actually set the stage on fire by hitting a few boundaries. India's biggest problem, if you see, is the last 10 overs. We don't score too many runs in the first 10 overs, and that is because of Shikhar Dhawan not being there. The opening pair of Shikhar Dhawan and Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan goes after the bowling right from the word go. He allows Rohit Sharma to settle in. So by the end of the 10th over itself, India are about 60-65 runs, and then Rohit Sharma also comes into the play and he starts scoring runs, and so both of them together really creates a lot of pressure on the bowling side. Now what is happening is that Rahul also is like Rohit Sharma. He plays a lot of dot balls. So in the match against England, India were about 30 runs or something in 10 overs, which is very, very low. The last 10 overs is when Dhoni comes to bat. Unfortunately, yesterday also, Dhoni just couldn't hit the ball. His timing was nowhere close to where it should have been. You know, for some reason, I think now the pressure is coming on Dhoni. He's not able to hit the ball when and where he wanted. Earlier, Dhoni would just decide to hit the ball, he would hit it into the stands. Now he finds it extremely difficult to score runs very quickly.
So you mean to say that the absence of Shikhar Dhawan, both the openers are laid back. So if we could replace KL Rahul with Rishabh Pant, if Rishabh Pant comes to open and KL Rahul plays at number 4, will this problem would be solved?
See, it's a good opportunity against Sri Lanka to play Rishabh Pant as an opener. See, one of the advantages that Rishabh Pant hits the ball right from the word go. Second, he's a left-handed batsman. See, the combination, the left-right combination between Shikhar Dhawan and Rohit Sharma was doubly effective, because Shikhar Dhawan was a left-handed batsman. The bowlers had to continuously alter the line. With Rishabh Pant, that problem can be presented back to the opposition. So it's not a bad idea to actually try, at least for this game, though it's a World Cup game. India have qualified to the semis, so it's not a bad idea to throw in Rishabh Pant as an opening batsman.
Another decision which many selectors or many experts questioned in this game is that India just played with 4 full-time bowlers and Hardik Pandya is a 5th bowler. Do you think the strategy of playing 4 full-time bowlers and Hardik Pandya as a 5th bowler would be effective in the upcoming matches?
I think they should definitely have 5 proper bowlers, and Hardik Pandya should be the 6th bowler, without a doubt. Any bowler can have an off day, and it comes at any point of time in the match. Now, yesterday had Shami had to bowl the last over and India would have lost, all these questions would have come up. Because if Shami was being hit and we had another bowler, for argument's sake, if we had somebody like Ravindra Jadeja, and he could have bowled about 2 or 3 overs in between, Shami's overs could have been taken care of. According to me, India should play with 6 bowlers, maybe 5 full-time bowlers and Hardik Pandya to chip in and bowl. But we can't go to a semi-finals of a World Cup against any of the other 3 sides, which in all probability could be either Australia, England or New Zealand or Pakistan or whoever it is. We can't play a match with just 5 bowlers.
But don't you think playing 6 bowlers in the game would weaken the Indian batting side? The Bhuvneshwar Kumar was picked instead of Kuldeep Yadav. They could both have played in the game. But Bhuvneshwar Kumar was picked in place of Kuldeep Yadav to strengthen the batting side, which many have questioned that the Indian middle order is weak.
See, my argument is that if 6 batsmen cannot score, then 7th batsman also will not score. You give them responsibility. If you have a very long batting lineup, everybody expects the other guy to come out and score the runs. You have 6 batsmen and 5 bowlers. And according to me, that will be the way that India can win the World Cup.
India registered almost cemented its place in the semi-final. But its victory against smaller teams like Afghanistan and Bangladesh didn't look quite convincing. Do Indian team with this performance have the ability to lift the trophy?
Okay, against Afghanistan and Bangladesh, definitely they gave us a lot of headaches before we won the match. But a semi-finals match is a very different match. It's a knockout kind of a game. The Indian team, knowing them and having followed Indian cricket for a very long time, will definitely raise the game. Now there are a couple of things that the Indian team needs to be careful about. A, we are not sure what is the kind of wicket that we are going to get. Who is the opponent? Whether it's Australia or anybody else. Thirdly, the dimensions of the ground. Now, if you have a longer boundary, if the ground is big and if you have about 75 yards from the pitch, the spinners can come to play. The pitches have already started drying up in England, which means the spinners will definitely be very, very effective. Like yesterday also, if you saw, Chahal was able to turn the ball quite a bit, but he was not sure of where to bowl because one side of the boundary was about 60 yards. Now 60 yards means in today's time when the bats are so good that even an edge can take it outside the boundary line. So if you have a 75-yard boundary, according to me, India will play 2 spinners. Whether it's going to be Kuldeep or Ravindra Jadeja, I wouldn't know. But we have to play 2 spinners. If the wicket is dry, the ground is big, India will go in with 2 spinners.
Before talking about the next match against Sri Lanka, what do you have to say about Shakib Al Hasan, who is in a sublime form? He scored 500 plus. In fact, he became the first player to score 500 runs and take 10 wickets. Does he has the ability to lift Bangladesh in the upcoming tournaments?
See, he is a veteran. He's been playing for a very long time. But I think he was not given the number 3 position till very recently. He used to always bat at number 5 and number 6. This is the position that suits somebody like Shakib Al Hasan. He has been a fantastic batsman right through the tournament. His bowling has been good. He's a very experienced player, very talented player. Now, how much of cricket is left in him? I don't think he's going to play the next World Cup because he's also getting old. But I think whatever little cricket is left in him, I think he should bat at number 3 and take Bangladesh team as much as ahead as possible. To me, along with him, I think Tamim Iqbal also has to contribute. I don't think Tamim Iqbal had a very, very memorable World Cup. If he had played well yesterday, I think the match would have been far more closer than it actually was.
Talking about the Sri Lankan match, India plays its last match. They have already cemented their place in the semi-finals. Should the Indian team look to use their bench strength? Bench strength, I mean there's only one player who's not been utilized, Ravindra Jadeja. And many people are saying that he should have been used in the earlier matches. Should the Indian team give Ravindra Jadeja a final chance before the knockout stages?
See, we can't treat this as a practice match by any stretch of imagination. This is a World Cup game. You don't want to lose the match just before going into the semi-final because like what we said earlier, losing can be very contagious. So what we need to do is, we need to focus on trying to get the team that's going to play the semi-finals to play in the match against Sri Lanka. If we can identify the 11 players, we should play them because it will be a good outing for them and they should play with a lot of intensity because this match may not be very important for Sri Lanka because they are virtually out of the tournament. I mean, in fact, they're out of the tournament. So this will give Indians a great opportunity to try and beat Sri Lanka as big as possible so that they have a lot of confidence going into the semi-finals. Remember, cricket is a game of confidence. The team with high level of confidence will definitely perform in the World Cup semi-finals.
So you mean to say the Indian team won't try any new techniques or new strategies in the game against Sri Lanka?
See, they could try Ravindra Jadeja, but that is if they have the confidence of taking Ravindra Jadeja in the semi-finals, if the strip is conducive to spin bowling and the ground is large enough. If that happens, I think they should play Ravindra Jadeja. To me, he's a very effective one-day player because he can field brilliantly. He's got a good bowling skill with him because he can bowl tight, accurate, and he can actually score a few runs as well. He's not ordinary batsman who will just come and throw away his wicket. He's gritty. So it's not a bad idea to take Ravindra Jadeja.
And your prediction about not the match, who would be the final 4 teams to qualify for the semi-finals?
See, as we record this program, England is playing New Zealand. Now, the team that wins will definitely make it into the semi-finals. The losing team, is still not out of the tournament if it is New Zealand. If England loses, then they're in serious trouble. But if New Zealand loses, they'll still be at 11 points. And even if Pakistan can defeat Bangladesh and they move to 11 points, I think on run rate, New Zealand will be higher than Pakistan. So as it stands, it's going to be India. India and Australia are already through. I think it should be New Zealand and England.
So before ending today's episode, I would like to discuss about a player who was supposed to be a player who could have solved India's number 4 problem. He was not picked up for the World Cup, and eventually he today ended his career, or he just announced his retirement from all forms of cricket. Ambati Rayudu. Do you think Ambati Rayudu has made justice to his career?
See, Ambati Rayudu has been in a lot of controversies in the last few years, and that is one of the reasons why he was not taken in the Indian team earlier. He was a very important member in the IPL for the Mumbai Indians, and then he moved to the Chennai Super Kings, and he's done extremely well there. So in the T20 games or the limited overs games, I think he was a very good batsman. But he was given a lot of opportunities because at one point of time, most people said that Ambati Rayudu is going to be the number 4 batsman for India in the World Cup. But form deserted him, and I think also the fact that his fitness level is not up to the mark. So these 2 counts, I think he couldn't make it into the World Cup, and then I think got frustrated. He put in some very silly tweet and all those things, and then what happened is that I find he couldn't make it to the World Cup.
So do you think if Ambati Rayudu with his fitness, he would have been in the Indian team, could the Indian middle order perform better than it is performing now?
See, it's a question of ifs and buts. Now, if he was fit, he had to be in great form as well. Now, fitness and form go hand in hand. The fact of the matter is, Dhoni is fit, but unfortunately his form has deserted him. Now, we don't know what would have happened to Ambati Rayudu. If fitness and form both were good with Ambati Rayudu, he would have definitely been a big solution for India in the World Cup.
So as Mahesh says, that the Indian team should not look the match against Sri Lanka as a practice match and rather should pick up the final 11 for the upcoming semi-final stages. Do watch the match. We'll meet you after the match. Till then, it's goodbye from all of us.